tell you something.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Look, we just having a chuckle because Vic is talking about my cousins, and in our language, your cousins is
it's not a culture thing.
People. I call them cousins because it's a lot of times they have the same skin color as we do. But cousins is them ratchet family members that you don't want to have anything
to do. But it seemed like that you can't get rid of them because they're running within the same circle that you're running in conservative wise, and you can't get rid of them because we're all connected on some level, whether you agree with them or you don't.
That's 6 degrees of separation. I don't care what happens.
You don't want them, but they're here, and you're saying like this, hope they mess up.
Yeah, but look, as far as cousins go, I will say that we have our fair share of them in the conservative movement. Yeah. But I would argue that the majority of them are on the other side. They're either leftists or Democrats.
So. No,
I do. Because as a matter of fact, the topic that we're going to be talking about today is a lot of across the country. Recently, there have been a lot of black females in leadership who are losing their damn minds.
Oh,
and the majority of them, if not all of them, are from the Democrat Party.
Okay,
name a few, we Fannie Willis,
yes.
Letitia James. Yes. There's a councilwoman. Her name is Natalie Hall in Fulton County. There was a judge just removed in Fulton County for systemic incompetence. We did Lori Lightfoot. It's a whole bunch of them that are just, as far as I'm concerned, from what I'm seeing, are given a bad name to, black women, those of us who have a lot of common sense and who, believe in integrity and who believe in doing what's right, that's making us look bad. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you cook. Go on and cook.
Listen, I look at it like this, okay? There's always equal opportunists, okay? And people are going to use those opportunities, okay, that is laid out, that's open for them because they won't be called out for doing it. And our problem as conservatives is that we are afraid to say, that's BS. They need to lose their position. They need to lose their title in fear of, come on, we got to be honest here. Our white patriots are afraid to say something concerning people that look like you and I, because the first thing is thrown on them is that they're racist, and I say it's bullshit. I'm sorry, but it is. It's just like when someone calls you out.
Can we say bullshit on YouTube? I think we can.
If you're doing something that's immoral, illegal, why can't anyone call you out on it? Okay, and ask for your removal. Why can't that be done?
So I think from what you're saying, from your perspective, this is more intra-party wise, right? Or in the conservative movement, or you just talking about in general?
Over, because even in the Republican Party, it seems like it's crept here as well, because it seems like it is co-signed on the Democrat part, okay, of don't call her a hag, don't call her, or whatever, because that's racist.
Well, I agree.
It's not. But it's crept here, and it seems like we're experiencing the same behavior because people are afraid to call people out on things that's not right, and it has nothing to do with that.
So if I understand what you're saying, especially because I know one of the things we really wanted to talk about today were what we call the city girl females and how, especially, black women who are, we're the same color. The way that, if I'm understanding you correctly, I just want to make sure that you feel like on our side, on the more conservative side, is that we're not willing to call out the bad behavior that we're seeing inside, or even on the outside.
This is what I'm saying. It's the same.
But I'll tell you though, I do see a lot of conservatives that are pushing back against the bad behavior, what we call the city girls. the Tiffany Henyards, the Letitia James, the Fannie Willis. I see a lot of conservatives, but I think what you're saying is, okay, we can call out the other side.
You got to call out here
but
too.
we won't call it out amongst our own people.
That is correct.
Okay.
And that's the thing. I feel that it has crept here, where that it's like there's a line drawn where that we can call them out as city girls over there,
right?
But we can't call out whether it's city girls, city boys. We can't call it out here. What's that seems to be an oxymoron to me.
Yeah.
Where that you can do it someplace else, but you're afraid to take care of it in your own household. No. In order for us to move cohesively towards the finish line of success, we have to be able to have open dialogue, honest dialogue to say, listen, whether they're what color they are, it has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with your integrity and your character.
Your value and your culture. Okay, I get that.
About anything else.
So we've had this conversation before too, because you talk about this, and this is one of the things that we mentioned in our reintroduction video, that we have some nuanced differences because I'm a converted conservative and Vic's been a conservative her whole life. And so I have a little bit different. So she's always talked about, and you've mentioned this, about people who come to the conservative movement or come, you know, they transition from being, you know, a Democrat or Republican, whatever, and come into our movement, but they bring a lot of those old values with them.
Yeah.
So are you saying that in this particular, especially now in this particular climate, where there are a lot of people who are leaving the Democrat Party and they're coming here, but they're bringing some of those values from the Democrat Party, my position on that has always been that, and I get it, and I don't disagree with her, but you talk about this too, is that we're allowing people into under the umbrella without really educating them about the expectations, what true conservatism is. It's almost like with me, a long time ago, it's been almost 30 years when I converted to Christianity. I was a Democrat at the time. And then when I converted to Christianity and I started measuring up Christian values to Democrat values, it didn't match. But I did that on my own because I'm reading, of course, and I'm reading the Bible and I'm looking at, okay, if I'm a Christian, I can't believe in abortion. And that's one of the biggest tenets on the Democrat Party, that they believe in abortion, and recently all the way up until the 9th month. So that was one of the things that started me moving more towards conservatism, is because some of those old ideas that I had as a Democrat weren't matching up to the new values that I had as a Christian. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I did that myself, but I think I understand what you're saying, is that the people who are coming into the conservative movement, on the conservative side, right, they're not getting that re-education.
And it's just not the everyday citizens. You got to look at these leaders that's leaving the Democrat Party.
Yes.
And they're coming here, and you just think that they're just coming here just to sign up for the Republican Party. No, they're coming to sit on the legislation. They're coming to sit in the Senate. They're coming to sit in the Congress. They're going to run for office. However, we have to say to ourselves, when you come, what policies are you going to push? How is that going to look for us? Okay, as conservatives of conservatism, how is that going to look for us? How is that going to look? Are you going to continue to, because your mind is already generated, right? On certain points to vote or to pass legislation that is, I'm sorry, immoral. You just do. So because you do that, you think that that's going to change because you come over here overnight. Oh, I'm here now. I'm gonna vote the conservative way, the way you guys have been doing for all of these, decades. I'm gonna be voting or pushing policies that's conservative, or they're gonna teeter the fence where that is right at the border, in between, and it's going to say like, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
I get what you're saying, Vic. I absolutely get what you're saying. But I think in respect, especially to this particular topic, what we're seeing is a lot of women in the Democrat Party who are in leadership that are out of control.
Oh, that's a different.
Right. So I get the argument, internally,
yeah,
with on our side, things that we got to deal with. But the unfortunate thing is that a lot of these women who are in power, who happen to have the same skin color that we have,
they're toxic.
They are really, really making it. Well, it's two things I believe. Number one, they're being used by the establishment on that side.
But you got to remember that they're being used by the liberal. You guys got to be honest. Liberal white, because they don't have no power.
That's true. But at the same time, and we know a lot of these DAs that are corrupt and stuff are being funded by Soros, right?
This is what I'm saying.
So he's one of the, puppet masters in the background. And if you look at a lot of these women, particularly like a Fannie Willis or Letitia James, they got a lot of money from Soros.
Oh,
so all they're doing, right, and all they're doing is promoting what it is that he wants, and they don't even understand the term what being a useful idiot is.
Yes.
And the unfortunate thing is that they're destroying their country, and by destroying your country, then you're destroying the whole legacy even of your children coming up.
Let's talk about your community.
Yes.
You're destroying your community.
Yes.
You're a useful idiot to go into your community and continue to decimate it, okay? Extracting away leadership through abortion policies and stuff like that in your community. And then you want to say it's the white man. It's not the white man. It's you. Yeah. It's you being a useful idiot for the white man.
For the white man, right. He couldn't do it if you weren't facilitating
this is
it.
What I'm saying.
And making it. You know what's crazy about that? It's funny. We were at this event, my event that we had last week. And there was a lady there, and I love this lady. I can't remember her name, and maybe I got to give her a shout out in one of our videos later. But she's a black female, older female, who's very much pro-life. But she comes with receipts, and she gives statistics, and she talks about, especially in the black community, how basically we're committing genocide to our own people.
Yes.
So she did this really neat visual. So we were at an event, probably with about 400 people there, right? And she was on a panel, and she had all of us stand up. She said, everybody in the room stand up. And she said, if you were born in the 40s, 50s, or 60s, sit down. So about 2/3 of us sat down. That's the baby boomers, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, I want y'all to look around and see what is the result of abortion in our community. So it was 2/3 of us that sat down. It was only a few people. The visual was so glaring that she was making a point that since abortion has come around and been legalized, that it has decimated the black community. It was, I felt that in my spirit. It was.
To this day, I was just talking to a gentleman, during our convention, our district conventions, and we were talking about, there was a gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name, and they were talking about how black women were driving up from South Carolina and Georgia just to have abortions at an abortion clinic.
Wow.
And someone...
Is this recently because
This is recent.
The recent laws?
And I said, I said to people, I understand the abortion issue and I don't agree with it. But you have to understand it was strategically designed, put in our community, in our faces, okay, by Planned Parenthood and the Democrat Party for decades. And so you are saying now to untrain what was trained to get a person out of a situation that they no longer want to be responsible for. That's what you did.
If you think about it too, though, the whole, and back to these women in leadership who have these values and ideas, the values and ideas that they have are very destructive to our community.
Yes.
Some of the biggest proponents of abortion is black women. And then if you think about the messaging that comes into our community, is called women's health.
It's not health care.
How is it health care when somebody going to end up dead? That's just the truth. It ain't health care to that person. And then when they float this idea that this is between a woman and her doctor, well, it's actually 3 people in that room. Yeah. So, and like I said, I used to be a Democrat. I was a big proponent of abortion until I figured out that this doesn't line up. If you're a religious person at all, I don't care if you're Muslim, if you have any respect for life, you understand that abortion is evil. You killing it. You literally are killing a person.
It's eugenics. It's designed. It is eugenics for the Black community. And now that it is in place, we talk about the police department. No, it's not. It's not the police department. It's you. Why? Because they've already trained you to decimate your community. You don't have to do anything else. They've already taught you, and it's through eugenics. They've taught you how to eliminate and extract the next generations to come, people that look like you and I.
I guess probably in conclusion, as we're talking about this topic, and I'm sure we'll get into more detail about it. We're just speaking about it in general. Is one of the things that really has us concerned is that the representation of Black females right now nationally leaves a lot to be desired, and these are the ones who are getting pushed in the media, right? So we're seeing the Letitia Jameses and the Lori Lightfoots and the Fannie Willises and the Tiffany Henyards, which are to me the worst representation
of us. Is that a design too?
Yes, it is. That a design I agree.
To say,
yes, it is.
We don't want, whether they are conservative Black women, Democrat, independent Black women who don't vote Democrat, we don't want them as leaders.
Or there are even there are Democrat women who are Black who are respectable.
This is what I'm saying. It's like a subliminal, just putting these particular
the worst
up
of the
there,
worst,
so that when Black women are on a platform to run for office, you automatically that imagery that you've had before. The brain is very powerful. So those are the things that resonate back with you when you see a Black woman's face on a bulletin board that's running for, whether it's Senate, Congress, mayor, any of the municipalities. Those are the things that you remember, that resonate back in your brain.
So what do you guys think about just this general topic in particular, about the representation of Black women nationally, what we're seeing, the corruption, the bad behavior? What do you guys think? Please leave a comment, and don't forget, like,
share, and subscribe, and check us over on Spreely as well. Don't forget that.
Thank you.
Thank you.